there might be a chance where Moose could be making his way to WWE full time. It's been rumored for months now that apparently Moose's contract with TNA will be scheduled to come up sometime this year in 2026. And we know this because, well, all the signs are there. Like myself, I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen it on social media that all the members of the system turned their back on Moose and welcomed Cedric Alexander to the group. This sparked a lot of questions that has been asked numerous times over the last week or so. One of those questions being, what does the future hold for Moose, and could we see Moose in WWE? Obviously, yes, we have seen Moose compete on NXT several times in 2025 last year, including challenging Obafemi at Roadblock for the NXT championship. Not only that, but we also saw Moose challenge Ethan Page for the NXT North American title late last year in an incredible main event. This has been asked countless times, but the question again is, could we see Moose get signed with WWE? It's possible, but again, as I stated earlier, apparently Moose's contract with TNA will be scheduled to come up sometime between now and the summer later this year. By that point, Moose will be a free agent, meaning that he will be allowed to go to any wrestling promotion in the entire world that he so desires. Most likely, WWE will be looking to sign Moose to WWE, much like what they did with Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Royce Keys. Powerhouse Hobbs signed with WWE within the last couple of weeks after his contract with AEW, which is obviously WWE's rival promotion. And again, as a quick disclaimer, I do not watch AEW. It is only from what I have seen on social media. Apparently, Powerhouse Hobbs' contract with AEW came to an end at the beginning of January last month, and he was able to work a couple of matches 2 weeks later before ultimately leaving AEW for good. Now that Powerhouse Hobbs is in WWE and is apparently scheduled to be on SmackDown, one has to wonder, what will the future hold for Powerhouse Hobbs on SmackDown? And the question becomes, what brand will Moose end up on? Well, apparently rumor has it that he is still on TNA's internal roster. And I'm actually gonna look it up right now. So the roster for TNA is absolutely incredible. I mean, think about this, right? You've got Mike Santana, the current TNA World Champion. You've got Lei Ying Lee, the TNA Knockout Champion. You got Leon Slater, the TNA X Division Champion. You got Stax from NXT, who is the TNA International Champion. You got the Hardys, who are the Tag Team Champions. The Elegance brand, who are the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. And then just the roster is absolutely incredible. I mean, you've got guys like AJ Francis, women like Alicia Edwards, BDE, If you guys do not know who BDE is, he like myself is a content creator, and he had competed on the independent circuit for quite a while now, and now is part of TNA. You have guys like, again, Cedric Alexander and Brian Myers, part of the system. You have Danny Luna, Daria Ray, and if you guys do not know who Daria Ray is, maybe this might help. Recognize her? You should. That is Sonya Deville, former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Who else is in here? Elena Black, aka Cora Jade, Elijah, aka Elias, Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian. Let's see here. Indy Hartwell. I would say JDC, but apparently he is now officially retired, so shout outs to him on an incredible career. Mara Sade, aka Jakara Jackson. So apparently Moose is still on the active roster for TNA. However, again, there have been rumors that his contract with TNA will be scheduled to come to an end at some point this year. To which, again, as I mentioned, he would become a free agent. So what that means is that he will be allowed to go to any wrestling promotion in the entire world that he so chooses. And think about this, right? Like, as far as TNA goes, even without Moose, there are still a lot of big hitters, right? Like you've got women like Myla Grace, who who at one point in her career wrestled for NXT UK when it was still around. You've got guys like Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, guys like Rich Swann, who actually competed in WWE for a minute before he got fired. He didn't get released of his contract. He just got fired, like straight up fired for bad behavior for some weird reason. Women like Rosemary, guys like Sami Callihan, who is still with TNA, but he's no longer allowed to wrestle, from what I've been told. Who else is in here? Who else? The hometown man, who I have no idea who that guy is. Trey, Miguel, Zaya Brookside. You got a lot of great talent on TNA, including as well including as well Mustafa Ali, who was with WWE for quite some time before he got released from WWE a few years ago. Sad, but it happens. It happens. Just the amount of talent that's in TNA is just absolutely incredible. But the question is, what brand could we see Moose on if his contract with TNA does indeed expire this year? Which again, no one knows. No one knows what's happening with Moose. Let's see. Here we are. Let's see. Let's see here. Apparently, Moose's contract with TNA supposedly is going to be coming to an end later this year, but it also says here that he also signed a 5-year deal with TNA late last year, but no one knows, right? Like, no one knows if he really is gonna stay with TNA for those 5 years, or if he's gonna end up in end up in WWE, and apparently he signed that contract a couple of years ago in 2024. So that means he still has another 3 years if the rumors are true. Um, but but by that point, TNA, even with Moose leaving TNA, the brand as a whole will still be there. It'll still be as hot as ever, and I think not having Moose in TNA, I think it would be okay because right now Mike Santana is the biggest star going in TNA right now. Like I would say Mike Santana is an even bigger star than I would probably say Kurt Angle, and that's saying a lot because Kurt Angle was and literally Kurt Angle became a megastar in TNA, and he ultimately became the general manager of TNA after Hulk Hogan left, which is crazy, kind of crazy. But again, the question becomes: what brand could we see Moose on if his contract does come to an end? At this point, no one knows. No one really knows. So let's look at the pros and cons of all three brands: Raw, SmackDown, and of course NXT. Starting with Monday Night Raw. One of the biggest pros of having Moose on Raw is his overall star power. One of the things that we've learned from Moose is that if he wins a championship, he's gonna make that championship the championship that everybody wants to get their hands on. He did that. He did that with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He did that with the TNA X Division title, and he even did that with the TNA Digital Media Championship when that title was around. And all of his championship reigns combined is at least like what, 700 800 days plus, maybe even more than that overall. Kind of cracked. So imagine him as the Intercontinental Champion, right? He could be the guy to break Gunther's record by at least another 100 days. Easily, he could break Gunther's reign by at least 100 days, if not maybe even longer. And for those who do not remember, Gunther's reign as the Intercontinental Champion is sitting pretty at 666 days. So there's definitely a lot to consider on that part. There is also the World Heavyweight Championship as well. Right now, the longest reign for that title is Seth freaking Rollins in his first reign as champion of 316 days. Moose could potentially be the guy to break that record by at least 200 days, if not maybe even more. Potentially, I would say 250 days at the most. That's one pro. Another pro is him going up against some of the biggest stars that are on Raw. Guys like Jey Uso, guys like CM Punk, guys like Roman Reigns, guys like Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul. The amount of star power that's on Raw is impalpable. We could even see Moose versus Gunther, which even that alone would be incredible. But I feel like one of the biggest cons I feel like is of Moose being on Raw would have to be him not getting booked the right way. That and potentially like just sitting and catering doing nothing, which for some it has happened. It has happened before. It's happened with the Rusev. It's happened with the Motor City Machine Guns. Obviously, they've been working with AAA for a while. Rusev's been working with WWE main event, and I would say the Street Profits, but apparently they've been working a few NXT house shows, and apparently Montez Ford is looking a little different. And if you guys know, you know. Moving on to SmackDown. Looking at the United States title, if he were to take that title off of Carmelo Hayes right now, he could potentially become the longest reigning champion ever. In fact, I believe the longest reign for the United States Championship overall I believe would have to be 522 days. That reign was held by none other than WWE Hall of Famer Lex Luger from May 22nd, 1989 to October 27th, 1990. The other long reign as the United States champion, I believe, is Dean Ambrose. If I'm right on this, I believe it is Dean Ambrose or it's Kevin Owens. Dean Ambrose, 350 days. So those are the two longest reigns of the United States Championship. So obviously Moose would have a lot of shoes to fill with that title. But the WWE title is a whole nother ballgame, because the only person to hold there are only 3 men, actually 4 men, sorry, that have held the WWE Championship for longer than 1,000 days. And if you haven't figured it out yet, it is Bruno Sammartino with over 2,800 days. Over 2,800 days. And then, of course, you have Hulk Hogan, who held his first championship for over 1,500 days. So you guys already know. Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, Bob Backlund, Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan. Roman Reigns is sitting pretty at 1,316 days. So there's definitely a lot of shoes that Moose would have to fill. What would be the pro of him on SmackDown? Guys like Drew McIntyre, guys like Cody Rhodes, guys like Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys. Apparently, again, Powerhouse Hobbs is scheduled to be on SmackDown within the next month. So no one really knows when, but there is that to consider. The con of it, same thing with Monday Night Raw, getting lost in the shuffle and ultimately getting released at a later time. Now NXT, on the other hand, I mean, come on. The roster there is just impalpable. The different championships that Moose could go after is incredible. We could see him go after the NXT title, the North American title. We could see him go after the NXT Heritage Cup, because at one point Moose I believe he did challenge for the cup at one point, and I think that was against. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Maybe that was JDC. JDC challenged challenged Ethan or actually no, Lexus King. He challenged Lexus King, right? I want to see something. I'm gonna go on YouTube here on my Fire Stick here, and I want to see here. Let's see. I don't think he ever challenged for the Heritage Cup. I think it was just simply for the NXT title. Yeah, that was at Roadblock last year, challenging Obafemi for the NXT title, and it's weird because Moose right now, again, as I said, is one of the biggest stars going in TNA. So if he landed on NXT, he could challenge for the NXT title. You know, he could challenge for the North American title. He could challenge for the Heritage Cup. But I don't think he would be suited for NXT. I think he would be suited for Monday Night Raw because of his overall star power and the fact that he could go up against guys like Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, guys like Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Logan Paul. That right there would be a long list of guys that Moose could go up against. So personally, I would love to see him on Raw, but if we are thinking realistically, once his contract does get once the contract with TNA does come to an end, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, or whatever, we're most likely going to see him on NXT, probably for at least a few months, maybe even a year, and then he'll end up on either Raw or SmackDown. It happened with women like Julia, women like Stephanie Vaquer, and of course women like Jordan Grace and guys like Javon Evans, who even Javon Evans, he never won a single championship in NXT, but yet he's on Monday Night Raw, which is kind of crazy. But with that being said, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this whole ordeal and what brand do you believe Moose should end up on when his contract expires. Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.